Hello YouTube, we're back, and if anyone ever watches any of my videos, you will know that I have a large male dovii, or at least I did have a large male dovii. So I had some really sad news recently with my pride and joy, my dovii named Hulk. He contracted an infection in his mouth, which I believe people call duck lips. Although from my research, I think it could have been a type of a disease, columnaris. I'm not entirely sure if they're the same thing, but so he had duck lips, and how he got that, I feel it was from a wound that he might have, had occur whilst he was chasing feeder fish. So this is my new guy. I literally just got him today. He's a little male, as you can see. He's about 6 inches long, and compared to my big boy that I just lost, he's tiny. But so he's my new fish. I didn't think I'd get one so quick. I'm still mourning my other fellow Hulk. I only just lost him a couple of days ago. I bought some broad spectrum antibiotics and tried white spot remedy with that, and lowered the temperature of the tank, thinking that it would help with what was wrong with him from my research, but the infection was too far gone. It already was out of hand. What I tried didn't work. He was so sick that I ended up, I couldn't watch him anymore. He couldn't eat. He couldn't defend himself against his female, who was like not even a third of his size. She started grabbing his lips and, wrestling him around a bit, and he was cowering. And he was an 18-inch big tough male dovii, and I had no choice but to put him out of his misery. I couldn't watch it anymore. It was too heartbreaking to watch. It was only 2.5 years and he'd already hit the 18-inch mark, which is a true testament of how well he was looked after. But unfortunately, something must have went wrong, because he got that bad bacterial infection in his mouth and he couldn't come back from it. So I'm very sad. And this tank now, it's only half full now. That's all I need for this little guy for now. There's no point in having 1,500 litres of water for a fish of this size. Got about 700 or 800 litres in here at the moment. That's enough for him for probably a while at least. The water's a bit browny looking, because even though I've done about 50% water changes on this tank and run macro pour and cleaned the macro pour several times with salt, there's still a bit of tannins in this water. It will clear up with more water changes and everything, so the tank looks a bit feral right now, but the actual water quality itself is perfectly fine. This little guy's not used to being in a tank where he can see his own reflection, so I can see he's sort of side slapping and tail slapping himself in the reflection and arcing up at himself in his own reflection a little bit. He's obviously been in a tank that's just all glass, unlike my homemade tank here, which is kind of got a mirror effect, as you can see. So he's sort of getting angry at himself in his own reflection. It's quite funny. I'm actually sort of not sure what to call this guy, but in respect to, I can't remember the gentleman's name right now, but years ago there was a famous gentleman who had a very famous dovii called Pablo, and he used to take Pablo around to shows all over the country in America, and I'm not sure, maybe elsewhere, but and show off his great big Pablo dovii. And it's a very famous fish, and those of you who know your dovii would have probably heard of Pablo. So I was thinking of, maybe in honor of that fellow and his fish Pablo, of calling this guy Pablo. I'm sure there's probably been hundreds of other dovii in the world called Pablo, but I'm thinking I'm going to call this guy Pablo. So there you go, I've made up my mind. This is Pablo. He's my new guy. I hope he does well. I'm just devastated I lost my last fish. I hand built this tank. That's why it looks dodgy, but it's actually fine. I hand built this tank for my last fish, Hulk. It took me 3 months to hand build this tank, and now I've lost him. So if I'm going to have this big tank, and I'm absolutely a dovii fan, there's really no other cichlid for me that doesn't like dovii. Humbies are good, jags are pretty cool, but for me it's dovii. So if I'm going to have this tank, I'm going to have a dovii in it. So I've gone and gotten this guy today. I was lucky to find him. It's really hard where I live here in Australia at the moment to find any dovii in any shops at all. The fact that I could get my hands on this one is great. Don't know how old he is. I'd have to guess he could be anywhere from 4 or 5 months, but more likely 5 up to maybe 8 or 9 months old at a guess. Yeah. Anyway, so just giving you an update. Extremely gutted that I lost my last fellow. Just got this guy like an hour ago. He's Pablo, as I've just said. And I'll keep you updated on how Pablo's progressing. Hopefully he likes pellets, because he may be getting no live fish, no live food, maybe an earthworm or two as a reward every now and then, but after losing my last fish, I've made a promise to myself I'm not going to feed any fish live food again. Even if the food's safe, the trouble is with dovii being so aggressive, when they chase that food around they can injure themselves, and I think that's exactly what my last fellow done. I think he smacked his mouth on the edge of the tank somewhere, or on a big rock, or it could have been just chasing his girl around, but whatever it was, I believe he injured his mouth. So if you just feed them pellets and a bit of things like live, like garden worms and stuff they don't have to chase after, that's probably safe. So I'm going to take the safe route from now on. I want to have a healthy fish. I don't want to lose another fish, and I'm adamant about that. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I don't know how to adjust my YouTube account so that people can actually like things and leave comments. I don't even know how to do that. I've tried to figure it out and I can't, but hopefully one day I will, and some of you might actually be able to leave a comment. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Bye for now.